Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today, yesterday, in fact, was the Rukmini Dwadasi, the appearance day of Rukminidevi. So we didn't have enough time to go through the glories of Rukminidevi. So we thought today we would spend some time and try to understand this divine personality. So I wanted to seek your good wishes and your blessings so that we can get the blessings of Rukminidevi. Okay, who is she? This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 474 to 75. And how do you do the invocation? Jai Shri Chaitanya,
Jai Shri Chaitanya,
Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Krishna Kanta Gana Deki Trivida Prakar Eka Lakshmi Gana Pure Mahis Gana Ara Rajana Gana Rupa Ara Kanta Gana Sara Shri Radhika Haite Kanta Gane Ravistara. The beloved consorts of Lord Krishna are of three kinds: the goddesses of fortune, the queens, and the milkmaids of Raj, who are the foremost of all. These consorts all proceed from Radhika.
Oh, what a wonderful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is why Chaitanya Charitamrita is regarded to be the highest scripture, even higher than the Bhagavatam, because it's got such information which even Bhagavatam does not contain. So these three consorts, goddesses of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, the queens of Dwarka, and then the milkmaids of Vraja. They are considered to be the highest. And of course, the foremost of them all is Srimati Radhika. So who is Rukmini? Of all the Krishna's queens in Dwarka, Rukmini Devi is the first and one of the principal queens. There are 8 principal queens. She's one of them, and she's the first of them. Ultimately, she's an expansion of Srimati Radharani. All of Rukmini's qualities are present in Radharani, although Radharani manifests only some qualities. Some qualities that even Rukmini cannot possess, because she's the source. And the source has more than the expansions. Rukmini was the daughter of Bhishmaka, the king of Vidarbha. And he wanted to marry Rukmini to Krishna. In fact, the whole family was quite keen on Rukmini marrying Krishna. But one of the foremost brothers of Rukmini, his name is Rukmi. She had 5 brothers. He was the eldest. He strongly opposed it. He wanted to make alliances, especially with Shishupal and Jarasan. So he was a very ambitious person, ambitious prince, and he was envious of Krishna. Yes, Rianch.
Would I know this story?
That's fine. I'll tell it. You can interject a little later, okay? Rukmi instead wanted her married to his friend Shishupal, the crown prince of Chedi, and a cousin of Krishna. Shishupal was friends with Jarasandh, king of Magad, and Rukmi was aligned with them. So they were all 3 had a pact. So Rukmi wanted to make that pact even stronger. However, Rukmini, she had fallen in love with and longed for Krishna, whose character, virtue, charm, and greatness she had heard much of from sages and devotees who visited. She never actually met Krishna. And I'm not sure if anybody from that family had met Krishna up to that time. But they had lots of sages because they were a very pious family. So sages and devotees visited them and they would tell them about Krishna. And Rukmini fell in love with Krishna. So her parents gave in actually to Rukmi because Rukmi was a very strong character. And Rukmini overheard the conversation. She was horrified I don't want to marry Shishupal, such a horrible personality. I want to be married to Krishna. So she was thinking what to do. And in her desperation, she decided nobody can go and see Krishna because it will be very challenging to keep it a secret. How can I send somebody to Krishna? But what she did was she wrote a letter to Krishna, and she gave it to a Brahmin, a simple Brahmin called Sunanda, who wouldn't be missed in the kingdom if he was away for some time. And she requested this Brahmin, please deliver this letter to Krishna. Now,
This is read
every day, this letter in the Dwarka temple. Yeah, which Karuna sang yesterday, and she'll sing hopefully today in a minute. So this is actually the Brahman coming back. We should turn him around, going out. Let me just see if I've got the letter. Yeah, got the letter here. So let's read the letter in English. Riansh, would you like to read the letter?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Go for it. It starts here. It's in the Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, 52nd verse. Sorry, 10th canto, 52nd chapter, 37 verse to 43.
I know the 37th verse, first verse.
Wow. Go for it.
Wait, Prabhuji, 1 minute. Today I have to today I have a lot of internet issues. That's why I can't.
Are you there? Okay, you better start reading soon.
At last, can I read, Prabhuji?
Here, yes.
Oh, beauty.
Oh, beauty of the worlds, having heard of your qualities, which enter the ears of those who hear and remove their bodily distress, and having also heard of your beauty, which fulfills all the visual desires of those who see, I have fixed my shameless mind upon you, O Krishna.
You can carry on.
Oh Mukunda, you are equal only to yourself in lineage, character, beauty, knowledge, youthfulness, wealth, and influence. Oh lion among men, you delight the minds of all mankind. What aristocratic, sober-minded, and marriageable girl of a good family, and would not choose you as her husband when the proper time has come. Therefore, my dear Lord, I have chosen you as my husband, and I surrender myself to you. Please come swiftly, O Almighty One, and make me your wife. My dear Lotus, Lord, let Shishupala never touch the hero's portion like a jackal stealing the property of a lion. If I have sufficiently worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead by pious works, sacrifices, charity, rituals, and vows, and also by worshipping the demigods, brahmanas, and gurus, then may Gadar Graja come and take my hand, and not Damagosha's son or anyone else. Oh, unconquerable one, tomorrow when my marriage ceremony is about to begin, you should arrive unseen in Vidarbha and surround yourself with the leaders of your army. Then crush the forces of Chaitya and Magadendra and marry me in the Rakshasa style, winning me with your valor. Since I will be staying within the inner chambers of the palace, you may wonder, how can I carry you away without killing some of your relatives? But I shall tell you a way. On the day before the marriage, there is a grand procession to honor the royal family's deity, and in this procession, the new bride goes outside the city of to visit goddess Girija. All outside one, grey souls like Lord Shiva anchored to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet and thereby destroying their ignorance. If I cannot obtain your mercy, I shall simply give up my vital force, which will have become weak from the severe penances I will perform. Then, after hundreds of lifetimes of endeavor, I may obtain your mercy.
That's it.
Oh. Well done. Thank you so much. Amazing. Good reading, Rianch. So now,
Prabhuji, from which number to which number? I did not remember.
43 to 51, something like that. Let's just find
54 chapter. It is
52. Yeah.
52.
There you
37.
go. So
from 37.
Yeah. So now Karuna recited this so amazingly yesterday, and she has got a tune of her own, and a really impressive tune. So Karuna, would you like to recite this again? Karuna, are you there?
Hey Krishna Prabhu, can you give me 1 minute?
Yeah, of course. So
just get my tune back.
no problem. No problem.
Okay, 1 minute.
No problem. So what happened? This letter was given to Krishna, and here he is. He's reading it, and there's the Brahmin. Krishna was really pleased to read this letter. He'd never seen Rukmini, but of course he knows Rukmini because they have an eternal connection. But he was very pleased to receive, and he immediately set out to the kingdom of Rukmi. Yeah, and at that time also Balaram and the army also decided to follow Krishna because they knew there was going to be trouble.
Okay, Prabhu.
Go for it.
Shri Rukmini Uvacha Shrutva Gunam Bhuvana Sundara Shri Nirvatante Nirvishya Karna Vivare Haratu Angatapam Rupam Drisham Drishimatamakhilalabham Tvayachutata Shivishati Chitam Apatrapam Katva Mukunda Mahati Kulashila Rupa Vidyavayodravina Dhama Viratmatulyam Dhirapatim Kulavati Navrinita Kanya Kalendri Simha Naraloka Manobhiramam तन्मे भवान् खलु वृषपतिरङ्गजायाम् आत्मार्पितश्च भवतो अत्र विभु विदेहि मा वीरभागम् अभिमार्षतु चैद्यारा गोमयुवन्मृगपते बलिमबुजाक्ष पुरुतिष्ठदक्षनियमव्रतदेवविप्र गुरुवचनादिभिरलं भगवान् परेश आराधितो यदि गदाग्रजयत्यपानिम् गृह्णातु मेन दमघोषसूतादयोऽन्ये स्वभाविनी त्वम् अजितो द्वहने विदर्भा गुप्तसमेत्य प्रीतना प्रतिदिपरीता निर्मत्यक्षय मगधेन्द्रपलं प्रसाय मां रक्षे सनविनोद्वः वीर्यशूर्काम् अन्तः पुरान्तरचरिम् अनिहत्य बन्धुन् त्वमुद्धरि कथम् इति प्रवदाम्युपायम् पूर्वे द्युरस्ति महति कुलदेवयात्रा यस्यां बहिर्नव वधूर्गिरिजामुपेया यस्याङ्घ्रिपङ्कजरज स्नपनं महान्तो वाञ्छन्त्युमापतिर्वात्मा तवोपहत्यै ययाम्बुजाक्षनेलेभ्य भवत् प्रसादाम् जयामशुम्व्रत कृशान् सतजन्मभीष्या श्री रुक्मिणी देवी की जय श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की जय श्री कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. That was amazing, Karuna. Thank you so much. Very, very beautiful. First class, first class.
That's
Amazing. So now let's go. Krishna, having received the message in Dwarka, immediately set out for Vidarbha, and Balaram, his elder brother, came with the Yadav army because he knew there would be trouble from Rukmi. Meanwhile, Shishupal, he was overjoyed because he was going to marry the most beautiful woman in the world. And he also set off for Vidarbha to claim Rukmini. Jarasandh, he didn't trust Krishna. So he also came with his allies to Vidarbha. And because they all knew that Krishna will cause some havoc. So especially Jarasandh had a lot of experience with Krishna. So Bhishmaka, the father of Rukmini, and Rukmini, they received the news from different spies that Krishna was coming. And the Brahman also returned back to Vidarbha and informed Rukmini that Krishna's happy with you. So Bhishmaka secretly approved of Krishna, and he wished that he would kidnap, take away, in the Gandharva style of marriage, kidnap Rukmini. So in the meantime, Rukmi, unaware of what was happening, he welcomed his guests, Shishupal and etc., joyfully, made them comfortable. At the palace, Rukmini, she was getting ready for the upcoming marriage, although, of course, in her heart, she wasn't very happy. The Brahmin had informed her Krishna had agreed to come, but she was disappointed and tearful that no news yet had come. It was so close now to the wedding time. But then her left thigh, arm, and eye twitched, and she took that as an auspicious omen. She apprehensively went to the temple. This is the Durga Mata, Ambika Mata's temple that they would go to before getting this auspicious occasion on the way. That's the tradition. So that she went, she offered her obeisances to Goddess Ambika, consort of Lord Shiva. As she stepped out, she was still very, very scared, and she came out very hesitantly. But when she came out, she saw Krishna on the chariot, riding towards her, and he soon swept her into the chariot with him. And they both started to ride off when Shishupal started noticing them. All of Jarasan's forces quickly started chasing them. Balaram and the Yadav army fought and held them on his own, except for Rukmini. So this is Rukmi, sorry, yeah. So there you go. Rukmini is on the chariot with Krishna.
We lost you.
Have you lost me? Can anybody hear me?
Oh, Prabhuji,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So beautiful horses, beautiful chariot, and beautiful Rukmini. So Krishna has Rukmini, and everybody was shocked, except Rukmini. She was ecstatic. Finally, her love of her life has come.
Prabhuji, can you show the before photo?
This one?
Yes, Prabhuji.
There
Yes,
you go.
Prabhuji, now you can take.
Okay, there's
Ah.
Rukmini. There's Rukmi there, sorry. Rukmi is after Krishna.
Jarasandha.
Actually, what happened, Balaram and his army, they stopped everybody except Rukmi. Rukmi escaped. So Rukmi was
Why,
the only
Prabhuji, how?
Rukmi was very determined. And also, Krishna had some business with Rukmi. So Rukmi was allowed to come through. So Rukmi caught up with Krishna and Rukmini and duelled with Krishna. There was a fight with the inevitable result of Krishna's victory, of course. Rukmi used abusive and offensive words for Rukmini, for which Krishna was about to kill him, because he could see that Rukmini was completely in love with Krishna, but he wanted her to marry Shishupal. So Krishna was not going to tolerate the insults to Rukmini, and he was about to kill Rukmi. But Rukmini then fell at the feet of Krishna and begged that her brother's life be spared. This is my brother, please leave him. Don't kill him, Krishna. I love you, but don't kill him. Krishna, generous as always, agreed. But as a punishment, he shaved Rukmi's head and let him go free. So this was like no greater shame for a warrior than a visible sign of defeat. There's Krishna shaving Rukmi's hair off. And it's said for a Kshatriya, for this to happen, it was a great shame. It was better to die than to have this shame. So there you go. This also happened to another fellow, Jayadratha, right? It happened to Jayadratha, same thing. Bhim did it to Jayadratha. So Then Krishna and Rukmini, they came to Madhavpur, Jed, near Porbandar, and they married. And this marriage was incredible because Lord Brahma was there doing the ceremony. I'm not sure if I read that anywhere, but this picture is interesting. Very interesting picture. A temple for Rukmini Krishna exists at this place where there's an annual wedding ceremony. At Dwarka, Krishna and Rukmini were welcomed then after this wedding ceremony with great pomp and ceremony. They did it again. Yes, Naniman.
Yes, I've been to this temple, Prabhuji.
Oh, wonderful.
Madhavpur, but it was closed. But I saw it. It's a small temple. It's in Madhavpur. And this is the place where my father was born. So
No,
we went there. So the
really?
temple. Yes.
It's
lovely, lovely little temple. But unfortunately, it was closed. And we had to leave at about 4 o'clock. So we couldn't go inside.
So you're a Madhavpur.
My father was born in Madhavpur, yes.
Wow. If your father's born there, that means that's your place as well.
That could be, yes. It's a very nice place near the Porbandar.
Amazing. Wow, thank you for sharing that.
Amazing,
wow.
Yes.
Yes, Riansh.
Prabhuji, can I recite the first sloka?
Afterwards, yeah. Let's just finish off first.
Prabhuji, I want to show you something.
You can show afterwards, yeah?
Let's
Let's finish this first. So, Naniben, is this the temple? Does this ring any bells? Maybe this is the old.
Mataji is talking in mute.
This is, yes, this is what we saw was a much smaller version, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay.
So I don't know what that showed us was correct or not. I have no idea.
Yeah, okay. But this looks like the entrance here. But anyway, I'm not sure where this is exactly.
Yeah, I could see that small area. This area seems familiar.
Okay.
But this one I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, next time you go, we'll come with you.
Yes, or I'll come with you.
So this is Ma Rukmini, garlanding Krishna. Amazing. So in Dwarka, they had a fantastic festival. Rukmini wanted Krishna, but along with Krishna, she got a beautiful palace. There are descriptions in Bhagavatam of the extraordinary opulence of Dwarka and so many nice children and servants and maidservants, and so much affluence. Actually, there is no harm in opulence as long as Krishna is in the center. There is another instruction from the narration of Rukmini and Krishna in the Bhagavatam. A chaste and faithful wife will follow her husband. If he is in an opulent position, so be it. But if circumstances happen that he falls into poor conditions, still she will stay with him. And sometimes it happens that the poor husband, by the grace of Krishna, becomes opulent. So Sudama is a wonderful story. You know this story, Sudama. Do you want to tell the story?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Go for it.
So, Sudama was a Brahmana, and Sudama and Krishna were from childhood. They were two friends, and they studied in the same school of Sandipani Muni. So, they would play with each other. They would talk with each other. They would do it like that. So once.
We've lost you, Rianj. Okay, so Sudama, he was peaceful Brahman, very nice Brahman, learned Brahman. And he was very detached from sense enjoyment, but he was also very, very poor. And his wife was also very chaste and devoted to him. But there's only so much you can take from being poor and being hungry all the time and distressed. And she said to Sudama, you know Krishna, he lives in Dwarka. Why don't you go and see him? And perhaps he can just help us a little bit. we're suffering, we're struggling. And she was more concerned for her husband than actually for herself. She was such a devoted wife. Anyway, this is Sudama. He was always very humble and gentle. Now, Sudama, he loved the idea of seeing Krishna, but he didn't like the idea of asking him for anything. And so he agreed to go. In his mind, he was not going to ask anything. And this is the mood of the devotee. They never ask anything from Krishna. They want to serve the Lord, not take from the Lord. But they want to give something to the Lord. So he took with him his wife. They didn't have anything in the house. They were so poor, they didn't have anything to eat. This is a situation which we are not very familiar with, but it must be an extremely distressing situation where you haven't even got your next meal ready, or don't even know where the next meal is coming from. Anyway, they looked for his wife. She found something, some flat rice, and she tied it up and gave it to Sudama and said to Sudama that this is for Krishna. Actually, it says here she begged 4 handfuls of flat rice from neighboring Brahmins and tied it to a torn piece of cloth and gave it to her husband as a present. This is Sudama and his wife chatting. So Sudama left for Dwarka. He was in ecstasy, and he got to the gate, and at the gate they were looking at Sudama, the guards, and thinking, what is this? Poor Brahmin, poor torn clothes, emancipated, looking really pathetic. And Sudama went up to them and he humbly asked, can I see my friend Krishna? And they were shocked. Your friend? Are you sure about this? Anyway, they gave the message to Krishna that somebody's come to see you. Who is that? They asked him. I'm a school friend of Krishna. We used to go to the same school, Sandipani Muni school. So they went back and told Krishna. And Krishna, as soon as he found out this is actually Sudama, he came running. He came running. Krishna never greets anybody like this. And he gave Sudama a huge hug. Huge hug. And everybody was shocked. This dirty, old, torn-clothed Brahmin, and Krishna's embracing him. So then Krishna took him inside the palace, seated him very nicely on his own bedstead, washed his feet. It's also said Rukmi, he also got Rukmini to wash his feet. And she also fanned him, fanned the Brahmin. They did arti to the Brahmin. So this was, Krishna really showed how to receive a guest, a Brahmin, a friend. There you go. That's Rukmini. And Krishna gave him prasad, food, new clothes. Yeah, that's right, new clothes. So then, after some affectionate philosophical talks about their times in service to their guru, Krishna asked his friends, oh, what have you brought me? He knew that Sudama must have brought something, but Sudama didn't want to give him. Just imagine he's in this palace with great, great opulence, and he's got some flat rice in his in his pocket or tied to his dhoti. So he wasn't going to give. But Krishna, of course, he knows everything. And he snatched the flakes of chipped rice tied in the old cloth. And he said to Sudama, you've been hiding this from me. This is delicious. He ate a palmful of the rice. But look what my friend has brought me, Rukmini. He was about to eat a second handful, and Rukmini stopped him. And she said to the Lord, one palmful is enough. So much wealth will accrue for Sudama. You leave nothing for us. Sudama spent the night in Krishna's palace. And the next day, after being duly honored by the Lord, and without having asked him for any material benefit, he set off for his home. Even the clothes that he was wearing was swapped again for his old clothes. But Sudama was ecstatic. He'd met his dear friend Krishna, who he's been worshipping all this time. He didn't care. He was in bliss. He was walking all along the road. He felt blissful, satisfied just by the Lord's darshan, by the Lord's touch, by the Lord's compassion. And then he thought that the merciful Lord, considering that if he suddenly became rich, he would become intoxicated with material happiness and forget him, had not granted him even the slightest wealth. So Sudama was thinking, Krishna didn't say anything, so it's fine. He has a reason. So we have to have the same mood. If something we plan doesn't go to plan, there's a reason for it. So Sudama's plan essentially was to ask him for wealth, but he didn't. And there was a reason for it. So thus, yes, Rianj.
Rauji, can you see me?
Oh, let's have a look. No, we can see your fan.
Yes, Rauji, 1 minute.
Oh, what's that? Nashinga.
Yes,
Very good.
I have to stick this. I have to stick this crown to that.
Okay, very good, very good. We'll carry on. Huh? Thus the Brahmin eventually reached home. In place of his meager residence, he found a celestial palace. He was actually shocked. He thought he was lost. Where's our hut gone? Why is this palace here? And these beautiful garlands. And then his wife came running out to greet him. And she looked very beautiful in beautiful clothes and jewelry. And Sudama was shocked. He was amazed. What's going on here? So without Sudama's having asked Krishna for anything, without Krishna having told Sudama I would give him everything, Krishna gave him more than Sudama or his wife could ever have imagined. But Sudama always continued to live a very simple life, and he never forgot Krishna. So Krishna gave this to him because he knew Sudama could handle it. So Krishna is merciful. He won't give unless he knows we can handle it. So that's the pastime which included Rukmini. And there's another pastime which involves the two.
Rauji, can I say this pastime?
Yeah, go for it.
So one day, Narad Muni came to Satyabhama and told that Krishna loves Rukmini more than you. So that time Satyabhama got jealous and asked what to do. Then Narad Muni told that if Krishna is like then if in means Narada instructs Satyabhama that you one day you make a weighing machine and you put Krishna on one side and put your jewelries on one side. If Krishna is heavy, then I will take Krishna with me. If Krishna is not, if Krishna is, if Krishna means if Krishna is Krishna is heavy and the jewelries go up, then Krishna will stay with you. So Satyabhama accepted that, and one day she put it Tulabaran day, and that time she put Krishna on one side of Tulabaran, and on other side she put some jewelries. So that time she was putting her jewelries. That time Krishna's weight was increasing, so the jewelries weight was decreasing. So So that time Narada said, now Krishna is very heavy, so now I will take him with me. Then Satyabhama was very confused and she went to Rukmini and told the whole thing. Then Rukmini peacefully took one leaf of Tulasi and a Tulasi leaf, and then she went to the Tulabaran, the palace where Tulabaran is going, and she told to Satyabhama that you take all the jewelries. So they took all the jewelries, and Rukmini put only the Tulasi. Then Krishna was very light, and the Tulsi leaf was very heavy.
Very good, well done. So this is showing the intelligence of Tulsi. She is the, intelligence of Rukmini. Very, very intelligent. Simply by putting the Tulsi on one side of the weighing scale, it outweighed all of the jewelry that, and Krishna, that Satyabhama had put. So Satyabhama, who is she? She's the second queen. Or was she the third queen? Can't remember.
No, third queen.
Third queen. So that's right. Fine. So that's fine, Riyansh. So then Satyabhama actually is also a reincarnation of Radharani. But her mood is that Krishna is mine, which is Radharani's mood. Rukmini's mood is much more mellow, much more mellow. So next one. Let's see if we, there you go. This is the Tulsi on one side, and Krishna is lighter than Tulsi. It's another picture. Another pastime took place, the Parijat flower, nearly time, yeah. So now what happened was Krishna, Indra planted the Parijat flower, tree rather, this very fragrant tree. And this he got from the churning of the ocean of milk. This was a gift that was given to Indra. He planted it in heaven. And Narad Muni, as always, came and he brought a flower from that tree. He gave it to Krishna. Krishna gave it to Rukmini. And then, this is Narad Muni's transcendental pastimes. He went to Satyabhama and he told that I gave a present to Krishna, and he, in turn, gave that Parijat flower to Rukmini. It looks like she's the favorite wife. And Satyabhama became very jealous, and she challenged Krishna that how come you gave the gift of the Parijat flower to Rukmini? And Krishna was, of course, taken aback, because he doesn't often get confronted like this, except by Satyabhama. So then Satyabhama insisted, I want you to get me a flower as well. The sage Narad Muni advised her to ask Krishna to bring the Parijat tree itself to Dwarka and plant it in my garden. So Krishna actually went with Satyabhama to Indralok, and they had a tussle. Krishna brought the flower, the tree, the whole tree, and Indra fought with Krishna. Of course, he was defeated, and Krishna brought the tree back to Dwarka. Now, Krishna still had an issue, because if he put the tree in Satyabhama's garden, Rukmini is going to get upset. On the other hand, if he didn't do that, Satyabhama would give him a really hard time. So he solved it by planting the tree in such a position that while its roots and trunks lay within Satyabhama's garden, its branches extended over the adjoining palace of Rukmini, covering it with flowers every day. So this is the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna, how to please both Satyabhama and Rukmini. So then one more thing, one more pastime. One time Krishna teased Rukmini. Why did you marry me? He asked. I'm just a simple cowherd boy. You could have married King Shishupal or Salva or Jarasan. You had such great choice. I was a poor boy in Vrindavan, where didn't have any palaces. My mother, Yashoda, they would just feed me cow's milk. But Rukmini took that conversation very seriously. She was shocked and she fainted. And then the Lord consoled her. Once she realized that the Lord was only joking, because she couldn't bear to think that Krishna is saying that I should reject him. How can I do that? He's my love of my life. But then she realized he was joking. She fulfilled the Lord's desire and became angry and countered all his arguments. So this conversation is also in the Bhagavatam. So hopefully we'll come across it whilst we're going through the 10th canto.
Prabhuji, we did the pastime of Parijat flower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You did. You did a drama, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So the connection between Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka and Vrindavan, the 6th Goswami explained that Radharani manifests as Satyabhama and Chandravali manifests as Rukmini.
Yes, unknown pastimes.
And
No.
the reason for this is that there is a particular mood that is displayed by the queens for the pleasure of Krishna. Satyabhama, Radharani's mood is to challenge Krishna. So this is like the Man Mandir, which we've talked about before in Vrindavan, where Radharani goes when she's upset. And then there's the mood of Chandravali and Rukmini, which is a mood of submission to the Supreme Lord. Krishna loves both moods. He's more challenged by Radharani or Satyabhama's mood, and he loves that as well. Other names of Rukmini, very quickly we can go through. Ruchira Nana, one who has a beautiful face. Vaidharbi, princess of Vidarbha. Ruchira Nanam, whose face is charming. Riya Vridha, shy, sati, exalted. Buddhi, intelligent. Lakshana, possesses bodily markings, auspicious markings. Aura, Udhorya, magnanimous. Shila, proper behavior. Shadisham Bharyam, ideal wife. Devim, goddess. Asita Pangi, dark-eyed. Mohini, enchanting. Mahati, aristocratic. Dhira, sober-minded. Kulavati, good family. Lakshana Pigya, a expert knower of the bodily senses. Aradito, having rendered devotional service. Matparam Atma Pitas, dedicated exclusively to Krishna. Anavad Yagim, Shobham, of flawless beauty. Suchi Smita, sweetly smiling. Varoraha, of lovely hips. Bimba Phala Adhara, glowing bimba red lips. Shyama, firm breasts. Chalantim Kalahamsa, walking with the motions of a royal swan. Sumadhyana Mam, shapely waist. Govinda Hritamanasa, whose mind is stolen by Krishna. Gunashreyam, a repository of all good qualities. Her first son was Pradyumna, and that's the first son of Krishna's. And born of her also were 10 other children, sons. Their names are here. I won't go through them. She also had a daughter, Charumati. You know, for all the children, Pradyumna was the crown prince of Dwarka. Oh, and this picture is what
Rukmini, Dwarkadish.
and this is what Karuna has as her screensaver. Is that right, Karuna?
Yes, Prabhu. No, I don't have this one. I have the Rukmini temple, which is outside Dwarka.
Oh, so that's
This
the
is the
one.
Rukmini Dwarkadish.
Okay,
What
okay.
is Rukmini Dwarkadish?
Let's have a look at your one. It looks the same.
Yeah, it has only one tower. The other one has another tower also.
Oh, okay. Right. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. And this one?
It's the same.
Same?
Yeah, this is the one which I have on my screen.
Okay, nice one. Amazing, isn't it? Great structure.
Very nice carvings.
And this is the deity.
Yeah, only Rukmini Devi is there.
Yeah. So you went here when?
In December 18.
Okay, very good. Fantastic. So it was not long ago.
No, not long. Just before the COVID.
Mhm.
Right, right.
This is ISKCON temple.
In Dwarkadish,
In
made by
Dwarka.
Mahavishnu Swami.
Roja, I went to Dwarkadish.
You've been here?
You've been to Dwarka?
Yes.
Wow. And this is actually in, anybody know where this is? Rukmini Dwarkadish?
I don't know. I did not saw this date there.
Very good, because
It's in
they are
America.
in Los Angeles. Prabhupada installed Rukmini Dwarkadish in Los Angeles.
Oh.
There you go. I think it's the same. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. Sorry, we've gone a little over.
Rukmini Devi.
Jai. Anybody, any questions, any comments?
So Prabhuji, the temple that we have only Rukmini Devi over there, she
Mm.
got a curse from Durvasa Muni
Okay.
Mm.
because she
Yeah.
drank water without offering water to Durvasa Muni.
Mm.
So that's why Durvasa Muni cursed her that she would be away from, she will have to be separate from her Lord Krishna.
Mm. That's why her temple is outside Dwarka.
Yeah, outside Dwarka.
Yes.
The water. And why did she curse? Why did he curse her?
She drank water before.
She drank water without offering it to
Oh,
Durvasa.
okay. Yikes. So you know when we have the Durvasa as a guest, to be very careful. Huh?
Wherever he
Especially you, Rianj, because you're probably closer to him than any of us. Okay, very good. Thank you so much. And let's go to, where are you now?